What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a special client interview today with Callie. Callie's been in the program for, wow, almost 2 years now. So this is, we tried to do this like maybe a year ago, but the file got corrupted. So excited to dive in, Callie. Don't want to steal your thunder. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself? We'll go from there.
Hey guys, my name is Callie Vandervalk, but people typically call me Callie B because Vandervalk is a lot to say. And I've been an elite fast pitch pitching coach for nearly 30 years. And I've been doing remote training probably since COVID. But man, you talk about scaling it. That's been literally since October of 2023, since I came into the program. But this is something I did on the side since my senior year of high school. So that was like way back, 1998. Had the career, I was an ultrasound tech for 16 years, still did this on the side, marriage, babies, moves, all this stuff. And it wasn't until 2021 that I actually take this from like basically like a passion project to full time. So this is literally what I do full time. I don't have a side gig. This is it. So there you go.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for the background. I'm excited to dive in because I know obviously we've been working together for a long time. You've gone through a lot of transformations and things like that. But why don't you go ahead, take me back to before you joined the program, kind of like what your entire situation looked like.
So if I go way back, so let's say June of 2023, I remember I booked my first call with one of the setters. I didn't get an opportunity to talk to you yet. And where I was at then in my journey, when I was told the price of what it costs to come into the remote training university, I was like, oh, there's just no way. There's no way I could do this. Thinking like, this is selfish of me. Like, I have a family, like, which is, I kind of laugh at now because I'm like, bro, that's a reason to do it. You know what I mean? That's a reason to bet on you, you know? So 6 months, I think, go by. And I'm literally like laying in bed, getting ready to like set my alarms on my phone. And my husband gets home from baseball because he's a head baseball coach of a 6A program out here in Arizona. And he like literally takes the phone and like puts it in my face, like his phone. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you have to do this. And I was like, I already talked to them and it's this much. And I think at that time it was like 6,000 to join. And I was like, there's just no way. And he just looked at me and he was like, he started scrolling. He was like, well, your friend Reagan did it. Your friend Zen did it. These are all people that you are friends with. You sit at this table with these people. Like, why aren't you doing it? And I was like, because we can't afford it. And he was like, no, you need to book a call. And I was like, just like it was just funny, right? And so I go to Nick's profile, super simple, literally DM the word ready. I don't even think I DM'd the word ready. I think I just went straight to the DMs and was like, hey, I need to book a call with you like ASAP. And it was just like quick response, got it set up for next day. And I ended up meeting Claude,
Uh,
which that was amazing because needless to say, 3 calls later with Claude within, I want to say like a 72-hour frame, we were able to come to, I guess, clarity because Claude was able to peel back like the real reason. And then he was able to see, like, actually, you guys can afford this. Plus, my husband bet on me. Like, he moved some money around and was like, hey, I'm going to do this. You're going to do this. And you're going to make this much money back in the first month. And I did. So that initial installment, I was able to clear that. I mean, I think it was before 4 weeks were up. I was able to make that first investment back. And that was pretty much all it took for me to believe in the system which, like you said, I've had a lot of transformation since then. And whew, it's so much more than just the systems and making more money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
A lot of people on the outside, they just think that we're gonna give them a system and like, why would they join this program when all we're doing is providing information and ideas? Like you say it's a lot more than just like the systems and information. Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, you can get systems and information from anything. Like there's so much free stuff out there, but like if you want to constantly be confused and be stuck at your phone, looking for free tips and tricks, be my guest. But for you, your systems and your information, you call each one of your coaches, like especially in the scale program, like that's where we get more of you. Like we get one-on-one time with you. And also, like, I didn't even know like having Kyle was a thing. Like being able to sit down and work with Kyle, like
Yeah.
who helps us in DMs and helps us cultivate these really good, rich conversations with people. Like that's huge. But like if you want just systems and you want information, just continue getting the tips and the tricks. Like that's what I'm going to tell anybody, right? But if you want to truly transform your business on every level, you can call it a holistic approach. But for me, I think within a year, I had done like figured out the system, like I already had a social media presence, not as big as a lot of people think they need to have, right? And that was another thing with you that I loved is you didn't like count people out. You were like, you taught us, okay, you're already doing it. So if you just, 3x it, 5x it, heck, 10x it, this is the outcome. But on the flip side of that, you knew what we were getting ready to walk through on an emotional and a mental aspect. You knew the first time we had our best month, the emotional capacity that we were getting ready to hit. And that's what people don't understand, I think, when like they see you. Because obviously, what I kept hearing from you was, are you a coach who wants more time with their family? Yes. Where do I sign up? And then again, I do that first call and I'm like, nope, too much. You know what I mean? So the reason why I kind of laugh about it is like if you were to be like, hey, I got this program, da, 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 where you and so, and it's 6 grand right now. What do you say? You could say I would say yes because I trust you, but at the same time, I would say yes because I'm willing to bet on myself. And that's something that you have taught me as well as other coaches in this program.
Yeah. Like I appreciate you sharing that. And it's cool to see how much not just like your business is transformed, but I think just like overall your entire life. If you want to maybe speak to like what were some of the biggest challenges coming into the program and like while you were going through the program that maybe you've had to face and overcome?
As a mom of three active athletic children, obviously injuries, right? I remember there were times you and I would get on a call and I think that's one thing I've always tried to be is honest with you, like when it comes to what's going on, but you've always pulled what I thought you couldn't see, you pulled it out of me really quick. And I didn't realize I was actually hiding it. That's the craziest effect that anybody in a mentoring position has had on me. Like you have that ability and that's huge. But like I remember telling you like when my middle was wrestling like the Friday before tryouts and there were all these medical bills because he ended up breaking his wrist and then we had to get his ankle cleared and his knee cleared. Um that that was rough. Like there were moments where I was like, I don't know that I can do this because we have all these medical bills and you literally would be like, Okay, well, then what can you do in your business today that's going to help your business grow tomorrow? Instead of thinking, well, I need to sell one more package so I can pay this off. You were teaching me how to keep doing the same thing because that same thing being done every day was actually setting me up for success the next day. Um, so like obviously life and kids, but even marriage, like I feel like as a wife, I've grown so much in this program. And it's like there for a while, I felt a lot of friction. Like, my husband being a teacher and a coach, it was like we were living on two different planets there for a while. Like he's salary pay, and I'm, out here making as much money as I make each day, each month. But you taught me how to view it again by not waiting until the end of the month to where things seem scarce. What are you going to do today in order to pay for tomorrow? Right. And literally here in the last, I would say it started happening 5 months ago, but I think that it really truly came through within the last 2.5 months. I started to see the differentials between my husband and I and the beauties in it. Not, oh, he's capped and he can only make this much money and it's always going to fall back on me. I started seeing it as I get to do something I love to do. And I used to say that, but now, like when I say it, there's just a whole different conviction with it. And that's tangible for me because it does show up. I mean, it's the going joke. When mom goes into her office, like when my family's home, and they're like, when mom goes into her office, like, don't expect to see her because she freaking loves what she does. And so I have to be really mindful about that. Like, I better get all the stuff I need to get done when everybody's gone. Because, I mean, if you don't, then if you truly love what you do, you miss out on those moments. So I think that's kind of been the hardest. But again, you even pick that, like our group calls that you have, that the community that you've constructed, that you've given us all a piece of responsibility to construct as well. Like I have friends in this community, and it's like I do think like, well, what if one of us ever stops working with you or something? And I'm just like, I just feel like what Nick has been able to cultivate, like we're always going to have that system of respect and friendship, no matter what, you know? So I think overall, just it's hard being a business owner. Duh, we all know that. It's not easy. The going meme is start a business so you can have more time with your family. And then you find yourself always running the business. But you told me one day, when are you going to stop letting your family be the excuse that you don't take your business to where you want it to be? And that just like, and you probably said it to me 3 times before, and it took the fourth time to where it just hit me right in the middle of the face. Like, oh my gosh, he just coached me up. Like, girl, tie your shoes. Come on, you're being called in. Go close the game. Like, let's freaking go. And that was, again, one of those nudges that you tend to do because of the work that you do within yourself, within your business. Like it's contagious. So,
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. How do you feel about the fact that I'm a lot younger than you and like I'll hold you accountable like that?
I remember telling you, I remember telling you when I came into the scale program because you were like, I'm going to be really honest with you and I'm going to call you out. And I was like, can you just talk to me like I'm your favorite aunt? And I just was kind of scared because I don't know, like, I think naturally I want to be like, what the freak do you know? Like, I literally am 46. Like, I almost have 20 years on you.
Yeah.
you know, like, but at the same time, it's almost like I can hear that 20-year-old me, like, that's what you needed. Now put it into play. Put it in. You got it. It's here. You've been waiting for this. I feel like everything I've been working on has brought me to the moment of hearing something out of your mouth because I've shared with you, like, I've been on this journey for a very long time. I know what it's like to work a full-time job, make great money, but wake up 10 years later within that career and basically check yourself for your own pulse because you feel like a robot, you know? So I think it's weird at first. And if you don't think it's weird, like you're lying to yourself if you're in your 40s and your 50s and in your 60s, even in your latter 30s, and you're coming into a program where somebody's younger than you and they're sharing all this wisdom with you. Here's the wisdom Nick is sharing. Nick has been able to do more business and build more systems than you could have ever imagined, or else you would be doing what Nick did. That's the way I see it. So if somebody feels awkward or they feel judgment towards Nick, like, well, one, you should probably just get out of the program because you're not going to be a good fit for this program. You have to be willing to let your ego lay down and allow yourself to be coached just like you want your athletes to be coached. And if you can't do that, why are you coaching? That's probably your biggest reason why you can't scale your business is because of your ego. So that would be like, clip that, send that to everybody who has something to say, because I'm glad I leaned into it. I'm glad I was uncomfortable in a constructive way, like going to the masterminds and basically being like, the old mother wisdom where everybody talks to me. Like, it was awkward, but at the same time, like, I loved it. I was like, okay, this is where I fit. Like, this is the piece that I'm in this puzzle, and I am 100% good with this. It's rich to me. Because if I can say something to these guys and these girls that are in their 20s and some in their early 30s to help set them up to be in a better position I was at that age, I'm going to say it. I'm going to share, like, this is what I wouldn't do and this is what I would do. And yes, Nick, I'll say it again. I wish I would have had this in my 20s, but it's okay because I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. I think it's really cool how I think just like I've seen it within you, you've been able to become a lot more like okay in the moment, right? And I feel like you have a much like sunnier perspective, if you will. I don't
So
know if
you're,
that's necessarily a word. You know what I mean?
yeah, I do. That's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a compliment.
Yeah, it is a compliment.
It
What do
is.
you what do you feel like has changed the most in your life or business since joining, not only the initial remote training university, but even jumping into the scale program?
The most that has changed in my life since just jumping into the scale program. I would say I've always known I've had the power to choose what I think. It's always been there. I've read the books, I've listened to the podcast. But something that you've given me without it's been a very passive give. Like, it's not an authoritative give, it's not a force. You've given me submissively permission to stop believing the old stories. And again, that has just affected my whole life. Like, I shared with you a story the other day of me talking to my daughter, and you know, and I know that was a direct reflection of like a conversation that you and I have had, and I was able to, again, be contagious, catch it, and then take it to her and share it with her. So like in my life, you have allowed me to one, I don't even know if this is the right thing to say because I don't feel like it was something necessarily that I did wrong back then, but I almost think it was almost like forgiving others for what they did to me. Because at the end of the day, I I look at it now and I'm like, I don't even know why was I mad? Like that wasn't even about me. So I think for me, it's you giving me that submissive permission to let go of the BS in my life. Like, and oh my gosh, like you can go to all the masterminds, you can go to all the trainings, you can look at all the stuff, get all the information, learn the systems. But until you do that kind of work within yourself as a business owner, you're going to keep hitting the same wall every single time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's so true. And I think it's, you know, your I love the saying your business works on you more than you work on it.
mm,
Yeah.
you're not wrong at all because since you and I'm looking at, yeah, since the day before my oldest son's birthday, that's when you and I had that very like constructive conversation, right? Where you just called me up. You didn't call me out, you called me up. And it was like, I knew if I did not spend the time on myself, literally right after that call, and doing exactly what you had given me an opportunity to do, you gave me like a little homework assignment. I'm a grown adult, I can do it or not. But I knew in that moment, I was like, if you do not catch this bus, it's going to leave. And in about a month and a half, you're going to roll back around to the same feeling. And Nick's going to have to construct you again. And it's like, you get to a point where you're like, I'm tired of feeling this way. And so, honestly, on that day, I did my systems in my business, but I spent more time on myself. And since then, when I look at my time audits, I'm spending more time on preparing myself to work my business, and it is glowing and it is flowing. That's the only way I can put it. And I think for some people, they think, why do you read? Why do you do this? You should be doing this. You should be booking a call. You should be writing a blog. You should be making a video. And it's like, nah, dog, I got to do all this so then I can truly do all that. I mean, that was the biggest takeaway that day. Like, I'm so glad I stopped and I just did accordingly to what you were calling me to do.
Yeah.
So,
You know, the number one thing that I think I've helped you with, Callie,
what?
when I made you close all those tabs on your browser.
You know what? I still do it. I don't keep them open. I still like every day I go up and I'm like, why is that still open? And then literally it's only gotten to 6.
Nice.
And I'll be like, oh, that needs to go down because you're not going to go back to that today. That's a tomorrow thing. And if you leave it up, it's going to bug you and it's going to think that, you better open me up. It's not a task that needs to be done today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was huge. You need to clip that video and show everybody how many freaking tabs I had open in 2 different browsers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was terrible. So terrible. And I did it in front of all y'all. So that was the best part.
Yeah, I literally, yeah, I was like, we got to stop right here. Like, literally, there was probably like 20 people on the call. I was like, nah, Callie, you got to close every single one of those browsers.
Yep. And everybody was like, holy crap. And as I was like finished up the last one, you were like, how do you feel? And I was like, honestly, a little nervous, but good. Like, it's like I don't, and my excuse was I don't want to have to log back into stuff. And to me, that's just like that's as simple as like not making your bed every day. Like I'm a bed maker. That's what I do every day. I've been that way forever. And I just kind of framed it like that, like stop. Just make your bed every day, you know?
Yeah.
Don't have 20 tabs. I'm sure it was more than 20.
Oh yeah. It
Sure
was
on
at
the
least double.
yeah, on the Internet Explorer, I think it was like, I don't know, 40. And then in Google Chrome, it was like at least 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shame here. No shame here. Take it, learn from it, rinse and repeat it.
Yeah. One thing I will say, Callie, is that you have been unbelievably coachable and you take what we're saying on the calls or in the masterminds or in the course or whatever it is, and you've been able to apply it and take the coaching without an ego. Maybe talk to me about what you feel like were tactically some of the best things that you learned while like going through the program.
Tactically, definitely like the protocol procedures as far as like conversations. Um, one of the things you said, I talk a lot, and it's a good thing. It's good to have the gift of gab, right? But in darker circumstances, that's a really good way to get kidnapped. You know what I mean? Like you could easily tell somebody where you live without realizing you just told them where you live. So the way you helped me construct like really meaningful, rich, time valuable conversations, not time consuming. Huge difference between a time valuable conversation and a time consuming conversation, right? Um, that the pay systems, like I already had Stripe coming into it, but you also talked about pay funnels. So I was like, sweet, I have another option, right? I don't have to bottleneck myself into one option. The social media management, I think when people come into any type of structure like on the social media, they buy into this idea like they've got to have all this stuff, like they got to have the 10K followers, or they got to have the social media manager, and you're like, oh, like I always would giggle when new coaches would come in and they'd be like, man, I hate posting every day and I hate doing this, and you would be like, just look straight at it and be like, you got to do it, like, and you do, like, you have to be willing to do this stuff in order to know, one, what you don't like to do, what you want to hire somebody else to do, right? But two, what you like to do. It's like yesterday I was talking to you about like just, watching you in your business and learning from you in the aspect of like, I know what you like to do in your business. And I love that you know what you like to do, because by you defining that, we get the best of you versus you being bogged down by a stupid business task that you don't like doing. So that, and then you help us understand like meta. You've done, you've you've ticked meta off before, so you know what not to do.
Yep.
Um, yeah, like your story about that was crazy, and how you came back from that, phenomenal. Um, I would also say like sales calls. Like again, going back to those conversational pieces, like when you review our sales calls, for me, you were like, you just talked way too much. You talked yourself out of it. Like it's so much information coming at them. They just want you to solve one problem, and you just bleh. And you don't realize you're doing it because you think, I need them to know like I'm here to support their kids, so I need to show them everything. When in truth, the everything gets revolved like throughout, progress. You know what I mean? So definitely cadence. That's the word I was looking for, is you teach a cadence. And I really think for people that come into the program and they're looking for that quick fix, it's not like that. Like, yes, when you get your system defined and you actually put it into play, you're going to have your first, it's going to feel good. But then comes your best month ever. And like I said earlier, those emotions hit and you will talk to us. You meet us, you meet us in the gap, like we work with our athletes, like you at one time worked with your athletes. You meet us in the gap and you're like, hey, this is probably what you're feeling right now. And you need to know, like, come a 50K month, a 30K month, a 15K month, that doesn't define you. And again, coming back to the cadence, like you're consistent. You teach us how to operate consistently. Because anytime we feel off, you're like, what are you not doing? Or anytime things are going good, what are you doing? Or when things are slow, what were you doing a year from now that you're not doing today? So I would say definitely cadence, consistency, and constructive comparison, which I think is an under talked about thing just in entrepreneurship in general. So everybody talks about comparison, but there is a difference. There is constructive and there is deconstructive. And that deconstructive comparison, man, that's the kind of stuff that will rob you of your joy, you know? So definitely the systems, how to talk, cultivate the conversation, how to build trusting relationships. I mean, these people are talking to you through Instagram, you know?
Yeah.
So you gotta cultivate that relationship quickly, that trust, that in a not a freak out, like, whoa, like best thing ever. Nick will say this many times. You gotta treat it like you're dating. I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember that. Because I was like, ooh, how does that apply to me? I'm married. you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I had to like, all right, okay, I can take that and I can apply it. I can not manipulate it, but how would I say transform it into my experience, you know? Again, like you said, I'm coachable. I'm able to take stuff away 100%.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing. Okay. And so obviously, like we've been talking a lot about like your experience in the program and things like that. As a result, what would you say is like the biggest outcome or like maybe the biggest couple outcomes that you've received as a result of going through the program and being a part of the community?
definitely clarity. Uh, I think there were moments where I felt like I was just aimlessly moving through the day.
Hmm.
like, and then I would, pull out my planner and put these times down and be like, okay, by this time I got to do this and this time I got to do this. And for some reason, like you said, it's the athlete in me, right? It's the athlete in us, the former athlete, that makes us feel like we're doing something because we're getting tasks done. But you can't have clarity unless you understand why you're doing the things, right? Same thing with our athletes, right? So clarity, not just in my business, but in life in general. Like I've definitely taken this opportunity and taken the frame beyond my business. And I would say the amount of people I've been able to serve by stepping into this, by taking a chance and betting on myself. Never did I ever think I would work with girls in Malaysia or Canada, or in different states, different zip codes, right? Like, and here I am, I can legit say I'm an international elite fast pitch pitching coach. So to know that I've changed these lives by stepping into the program, and I do play devil's advocate because sometimes I'm like, well, is is Nick really all that in this system? Could you have done this on your own? And I'm like, okay, what do the next 10 years look like for you? Well, let's see, you're 46, your oldest is 22, your middle's graduating high school, your daughter has 2 more years of high school left. Your next chapter is going to be empty nest, grandkids. Girl, you don't have time to do all this. So yes, Nick is all that. Like his program is all that, right? And and you can shake your head and say yes, it is all that. It is all that. Because it is, because you're also teaching me, not only am I getting clarity, my clients are getting life-changing results. Like they're randomly in the program telling one another, like when a new girl comes in, they're like, man, you're gonna have a blast in this program. I hope you have, as much change in your life as I have. Like it's big picture, right? But you're helping me evolve because in, 5 years, I don't know what I'm not calling anything negative, but like I'm being real in the aspect of I'm not getting younger, right? So where will I be in 5 years as an elite fast pitch pitching coach who is international? You teach me to look instead of react. You teach me to prepare instead of be on the defense. I'm reading the play that's coming. And just like you and I were talking about yesterday about creating every scenario within their program of like, if they do this, here's this, but then if they do this, kind of that's literally how I'm taking that and applying it to that. Again, coachable, yes. Taking what you're saying and applying it to more than just being a coach.
Yeah, amazing. I think you have such an amazing story, Callie, and you are always such a big advocate of the program. Who would you say is this program for versus who it's not for?
I already kind of hit on who it's not for. If you're an older demographic, like I'm middle age, whatever, and you are not in a position to believe in something bigger than your own ideas, like not let anybody else come into your way of thinking, this is not for you. Um, man, I think for athletes, because that's obviously when we get on these calls, and I know I've said it a lot to the, newbies that come in, I'll be like, hey, just exactly what you tell your athletes, like tell yourself that, you know. And I say it to myself all the time, and I'm sure you do the same. Like that's what we do as athletes, former athletes. But I definitely think it's for somebody who has played the sport, who wants to continue taking their coaching to a higher level than what was only available, 10, 15, 20 years ago. You don't have to just come home from college from your sport and become a high school coach. Not that that's a bad thing, or a college coach. Not that that's a bad thing, or work at your local facility as an instructor while you go work full time somewhere else. You do that part time. You can actually take this and make your livelihood out of it. But with that, I think both types of people, again, if you're not able to allow like a better way of thinking, because obviously you're looking for support because what you're doing is not working. You're going to just keep hitting your head on the ceiling, right? And if you're not able to let Nick and his team and his system start to impact you in a positive way, like if you look at it as like this is stupid. I have to post 3 times a day and I don't know anything about social media and I'm not shooting no content and I'm not going to mic up. Don't do it. By all means, don't do it. But if you're not willing to at least try, it's not for you. And I think something that I love how you come around like me and my business is you know that I'm constantly trying to move forward. You've gathered that about me. And sometimes I have a tendency to look into something because that was what I used to do. I would look into something and I would think I had to change something altogether. And you're like, no. Well, when things were going good, what were you doing? And it's just like, you just bring me back. But I think some people want to come into this program because they see, right, what you share. Like, no lie, like the video that you did about me and one of my girls signing up back up for the third time, like a lot of people are seeing that. And a friend actually DM me, like, this is huge. What are you doing? You know? And it's just going to come down to your ego, honestly. I just feel like whether you're 40, 50, 60, or you're 20, 30, like it's going to be your ego. And if you can't allow somebody who's younger than you to call you out and hold you accountable, then one, you're not coachable. So why are you coaching? And that's probably, again, why your business sucks. I'm not saying it gives you, I'm not saying it gives you the green light to be a douchebag to everybody because you're not. Like I've literally sat back and watched you like prepare somebody like, hey, you need to understand, I'm going to tell you something, you know, and then I've watched you say, call somebody out real quick. And then you're real quick to be like, first of all, the reason why I'm telling you this is like, as a mom who has kids that are still being coached by other coaches, that is valuable because you're not just calling somebody out and leaving them questioning their self-worth and if if what they're doing is the right thing. You're letting that person know, I see you, I love you, and I'm rooting for you. And that's why we keep staying in. Like, I just feel like that's why the people that are coming in and the people that are staying, it's like you're really making it hard for us to hate you. So it's one of those things where we've all had a moment in our athletic career where, if we had an opportunity to be coached by someone, right? Who would that coach be? And you give that vibe of like if one of my kids wanted to start doing this, I know they would be like, well, duh, I'm gonna hit up Nick because what Nick has been able to do in my mom's business is like it makes sense. And my kids have heard our calls before. They've heard it. They've heard the gritty ones where you're like, Callie. And I'm like, what? And then I'm crying. And you're like, Callie. And I'm like, what? And they've literally had a front row seat. So I think you've done a really good job at that. And I think that's a piece of like your own past experience as well as your present and future experience. Is you've taken moments where maybe you weren't the best teammate and you've taken moments where you were under some of the best coaches and you weren't the best athlete, or even moments where you were under really bad coaches and you were like, those three things are not how I want to be. I don't want any of my people who choose me to be in their life. It's a choice to have you in my life. So that to me is more powerful than anything. Because again, You can get this from anywhere out there. So, but you are the Google to doing this. Like I tell people all the time.
I appreciate you, Callie.
I appreciate you. And I know you tell me that a lot, and I know I tell you that a lot, but it's a radical appreciation. It's very radical. So,
Yeah. Well, it's my pleasure to serve you, Callie. Do you have any advice to anybody who's like, maybe they're about to get on a call with me or my team? They've already gotten on a call with me or my team. They're thinking about booking a call and they're on the fence, right? They really resonate with everything. They're just not sure if they should do it. What would you say to somebody there?
the fact that you're putting that much thought in it tells you that you should do it. At the end of the day, you have nothing to lose. Like there's a reason why you keep coming back to it. Again, that conversation that you and I had a month and a half ago, if I wouldn't have stopped and just walked through that mental door frame, right, and did the work, I would not like it's I would not see things the way I see them. I would not feel things the way I feel them. So if you're sitting on the fence, if Nick keeps showing up on your feed, like you can take it as a sign or whatever, but I'm telling you right now, there's a reason. There's a reason why you're being convicted to look into it. And when you get on the call, be honest. Like if you talk to Claude or you talk, I don't know who you're going to talk to. Maybe you get lucky and you talk to Nick. I don't know. But I do know Nick's team is intimate in the aspect of Nick does take sales calls. He does, he jumps in there, he does that. He likes to do that. But when you get on there, just have your heart on your sleeve. Have your heart on your sleeve. Share your pain points. Let them help you solve the problem. Because at the end of the day, they are going to go out of their way to change your life. And if you don't, if you don't let them do it today, it's going to come back around in 6 months, just like it did for me. I wasted 6 months trying to create a system, do the same thing. And all I was doing was trapping myself into fixed income. It was just same zip code. Now I'm international and I've been international for 3 years. So actually not two. No, it was, sorry. I'm like, hold on, 2 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. It's been a busy week, but yeah, I would say be honest, heart on your sleeve, and have your questions written down. That's going to be the best way to help you get the clarity that you need from that call. And if you're a believer in Christ, you better pray up. Better pray up so you can get that clarity and know what you need to do on your next step.
Yeah. Amazing.
So,
Cool. Last thing before we wrap up here, Callie, what are the next steps for you? Where do you see this going for you?
well, since I'm the Mel Robbins of softball, I see myself, getting to top 3 podcasts like in the world. That's the goal. I do want to eventually move out of the physical side of it, have a team of coaches who believe in the mission statement and the philosophy of pitching softball. It's a blessing, it's a platform to change kids as well as families' lives. Because for each athlete I work with, I'm working with their parents too. So, big picture of it, Cali V softball will be much bigger. Um, and I'm going to continue doing what I love to do. And that's, I just love changing people's lives. I can't see myself doing any. I think that's why I was a really good ultrasound tech because I was really good at what I did. And And it was just those moments where you get to help somebody, right? And who would have thought, middle of my sophomore, junior year of college, I get a blood clot in my brain. They discover I have a genetic clotting disorder. I can't play softball anymore. And who would have thought the seed that was planted when I was 18 was going to pave the way for me to continue training collegiate athletes as well as now professional level. And hey, softball's back in the Olympics. So that's where we're at. And that's where we're going.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thanks.
Is there anything else that you would want to say while we got the camera rolling here?
I would join the program. I would join the program. Like if anybody's sitting on it on the fence, if somebody watches this and they've already booked a call and they've had a call and they've been like me and been like, oh, that's too much. No, it's not too much. What's too much is the crap you keep believing in. That's too much. And you need to give yourself permission to bet on yourself and go in on this system. Because I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, guys. Weekly lessons, they don't work. They don't work. And before I came into the program, this is the funny thing. I was running everything through my phone and sending drills through my phone, right? You talk about a bottleneck. And then here comes this guy who's like already built the system, done the things. And I come in and I remember having my first call with Matt, who's one of the success coaches. And he was like, wait, you're already doing this. And I was like, yeah, but I have no idea what I'm doing. But I was still getting great results. And I mean, again, the consistency, everything. You taught us how to do oh my gosh, the testimony calls. Like, that's so, like what I'm doing right now. We do that with our own clients and I love it. So just do it. Just sign up. Come into, I mean, do you allow people to come into scale like out of the gate?
If
That
they're
would be my question.
qualified, if they're qualified,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, if you get on the sales call and you're qualified and you've done the work, because I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I kind of felt like I came into scale a little bit too early, but at the same time, when I look back, I'm like, I came into it right when I was supposed to, like at the end of the day, how everything is evolved. But definitely go through it because that remote training university, like Nick has everything. Like you don't have to sit there and recreate the document. Like he's got it there for you. You just literally put your name in there and their name in there and just go from there. It's a no-brainer. So I can't, like you said, I'm an advocate for the program. I think it's been kind of cool for you to see like how long I've been doing this because I'll be like, hey, so and so reached out. They see me doing this, and you and I have sat in these rooms prior to knowing each other. And I really don't think there's anyone else. And this is me not looking, right? I don't go looking for another Nick Novell. Like, I'm like, I don't need to, but I just do it. This has been a game changer for me, and I'm all about game changing activities. I'm all about that stuff. And if you're looking for a program that's going to change your life, this is the program. This is the program. And by doing that, you're going to change somebody else's life. Whew, you're going to make me go to church. So, sorry.
I appreciate you,
That
Kelly.
sunshine is busting out. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, super giddy. I'm just excited and I'm just overly grateful. I really am.
Yeah.
It's been good. Even in the bad, it's been good.
Yeah.
Nick always says, this is the biggest comeback right now. You can't have a breakthrough if you don't have the breakdown. And you're just like, okay. And guess where Nick is? Right there. And the reason why I can say that and the reason why I know that is because just the immense amount of intentionality that you put behind everything you do in this program. It's freaking amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Callie, I appreciate you jumping on, and I've really, really enjoyed having the opportunity to serve you. So thank you for being a great client. And I'm very excited for the future. Just so people know you're not AI, where can they find you?
Oh, you can literally Google Callie. It's like Sally, K with a K, ALLYV softball.com. You can just Google that and you will find me. You'll find my website. I'm all over Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. And what's crazy, y'all, it's just a little side note. Like I was doing a lot of this stuff prior to, but again, Nick taught me how to just frame it all up. He just taught me how to clean house because I felt like I was just like a scribble. So yeah, CallieVSoftball.com, Callie V Softball on Instagram, Callie like Sally V's and Victor softball.com. Oh, and on the podcast too. You can find me there. Callie V podcast, owning your opportunity. And that's been going for 5 years now, maybe a little
Amazing.
longer. So, yeah. But yeah, hit me up. I'd love to talk to you guys about how I can help your daughter reach her pitching goals. And just
Nice.
know, like by listening to this, you're getting a front row seat. Like if you come across this particular YouTube episode, you're like, I want to work with a coach who has a coach. That's my coach. Like that's a reflection. That's huge.
Yeah.
So
Well, thank you, Callie, for jumping on. I enjoyed the conversation. If you're a coach watching this and you haven't booked a call yet with us, what are you doing? Go ahead, book a call with us down below. Or if you've already talked to us, you're about to talk to us, looking forward to working with you. Anyway, Callie, appreciate you jumping on.
always, I appreciate being here.